storm. Riders on the storm. Into this house we're born. Into this world we're thrown. Like a dog without a bone, an actor out alone. Riders on the storm. There's a killer on the road. His brain is squirming like a toad.
This is the first wave. Says we're getting a lot of rain here too. Jody says, where is this located? Jody, we are in East San Antonio off Gambler Road, just east of the AT&T Center Parkway. This is the overflow parking lot for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. So usually this is a vacant space. It's centrally located. It is very near I-35. It's near I-10. It's just a few minutes east of downtown. So Corpus Christi Natatorium of Saratoga. Some of them are coming from the Natatorium, which is a swimming pool shared by the city and the school. How can we donate to help support the evacuees? Well, I know that the Red Cross, the American Red Cross, is always accepting donations. I know that the Salvation Army is getting ready to launch their command and control operations and humanitarian operations. You know, the Salvation Army, they have mobile kitchens. The RK group has a mobile kitchen. I know that today I had a little conversation by email with the RK group. They have an emergency kitchen situation where they can go out in the field and provide meals. You know, RK, Rosemary Kowalski, that group, they provide catering services to the San Antonio Convention Center facilities. Now, in addition to the buses, there are just private individuals coming up here to get information about where to get to shelter. And I think this is the rationale seems to be that people come here and then they're directed to a shelter rather than just showing up at shelters all over the place willy-nilly. So they're getting direction and then they're continuing on with their lives. So I know the Salvation Army was getting ready to deliver the shelters there. What is going to like in Garden Lake and Mathis? I don't know. Okay, so here's, I would say that is the first bus leaving for a shelter, is what I would say that is. Can I take a bus in the morning? The fire department spokesman who said that they are staging in this parking lot said that this parking lot would be a staging area until the danger is past, until nobody else needs to evacuate. City buses in Corpus took whatever they wanted to leave to the natatorium for evacuation. The school buses took them to San Antonio. Okay, well that settles that. There are lots of people sharing this video. So I'm just going to start at the top and I'm going to review one more time. So these guys are cleared. They don't have any medical problems. They are going to a shelter and the fire department spokesman didn't know where the shelter was. So we don't know exactly. Do you think it's going to flood in San Antonio? Justin says. Well, you know, the rainfall predictions are in the kind of scary range. You know, it just depends on what that storm does when we get landfall. And, you know, some of the rainfall totals are 12 to 20 inches. And if we got, I think that this is a caravan. I think everybody is going to follow the buses here. So, okay, yeah, look, they've got a police escort. Do you see that? I don't want to walk right, there's another media guy here. I don't want to ruin his shot. We'll go over here on the other side. Yeah, they said that there would be a police escort, so I'm thinking that's what we got here. And they're trying to get these people to the shelter in a safe manner. Here's the caboose. He's going to make sure they get to their destination safely. Thanks, sir. Thanks for your service. Be safe out there. Any shelter in Alice, Texas, I don't have any information about that. You know, the reason that I'm here is that I actually live near the AT&T Center, and I was on my way home and I saw all this crazy activity over here. And when they were actually setting up the cones. So we had 6 buses. I don't know how many people those buses hold, each bus holds, but they are now on their way to shelter. And this kind of makes me want to go over there to Loop 410 and see what's going on I-37, because I think we're going to have a lot of cars out there. It's not mandatory. Need to go west.
That we're going to be dealing with this maximum storm surge, which is of course going to be on Saturday morning, but that may also linger into early next week as well. that's going to inhibit a lot of this water from running off into the area waterways and then moving out to the Gulf of Mexico. So that could potentially exacerbate the flood situation, making it worse than it otherwise would be, because we've got this water coming up from the Gulf that's going to prevent the water from flowing down the rivers. So that's another reason why we're anticipating this widespread, very, very large, very large in scale flash flood type situation. Okay, let's see. A lot of people telling me to go get some sleep. Trust me, as soon as we get done here, I'm heading to get some sleep. You're right. But we will be back again tomorrow morning. We will continue to do these briefings as long as we still have a threat in the area. Maybe we'll get our hydrologist Jonathan in here to explain the surge to you and the above ground level a little better. Sam's asking, is Acadiana in the same boat as Southeast Louisiana? Will it be just like a regular afternoon storm in Acadiana? No, not quite. We're still going to be looking at quite a bit of rainfall in the Acadiana area. Perhaps not as much as further west, but we're still going to be looking at, okay, here is today through Sunday, probably not going to be too bad, you know, just say an inch or so. But as we get into the the part of the work week, essentially Sunday through Tuesday, now we're looking at greater amounts of, say, 3 to possibly up to 5 inches Sunday through Tuesday, and then another, say, 3 to 4 inches Tuesday through Thursday. So all told, we're going to be looking at probably anywhere from about 7 to 11 inches across portions of Acadiana, which is a lot more than you would typically see, and certainly enough to cause some very significant flash flooding. So I would take the same precautions as people in Southwest Louisiana and Southeast Texas, because you're likely to see much of the very same type of flooding that people are going to experience further west. Vicky says she heard that they were having mandatory evacuations for Cameron. Is that because of the surge? Yes, that's mainly what it is for. There is a mandatory evacuation in effect. I had it pulled up exactly where it was here on my phone. I think I might have, yeah, turned it off. But it's basically from the Intracoastal Waterway south. So it's going to include Cameron. It's going to include Holly Beach, Johnson Bayou. All of those areas are now, not now, actually the mandatory evacuation starts at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. But yeah, the reason for that mandatory evacuation is for the threat of the storm surge associated with the landfalling storm. Georgianne says, so there's no chance, or it's asking if there's any chance of it making a first landfall closer to the Texas-Louisiana border. I don't think so. At this point, we do have a pretty well, or a pretty high confidence in where we're anticipating the landfall to be. But as I pointed out in the other briefings here, and I'll explain it to you here, this white cone here, you may be familiar with it, you know it as the cone of error. Now what that means is that the center of circulation, which is the black dot here, could potentially be anywhere between the left and the right ends of this cone during that period of time. So for example, during landfall on 7 a.m. Saturday morning, the landfall could still potentially be anywhere from nearly to Brownsville all the way up to, say, as far north as Houston. So there's still a very wide range where the ultimate center of circulation could come ashore. So from that perspective, yeah, there is still some room for the storm to wobble quite a bit. But we have been fairly consistent over the past couple of days with a forecasted landfall right near Corpus Christi, and at this point there's no reason to doubt that forecast. Now after it does make landfall, that's when things get really tricky, because it's going to meander here and nobody's real sure exactly where it's going to wind up before it starts that northeastward trek. It may drift back into the Gulf of Mexico, it may just stay right along the shoreline. It's also possible there are still some computer models that still just kind of leave it here and just have it die out here in Central Texas. And if that happens, we're all going to look like idiots because here we are forecasting 20 inches of rain, and we're not going to get that if it stays over in Corpus Christi. But at this point, we are anticipating that it will eventually make that northeastward track, which is why we're trying to prepare everyone for the potential for all that rainfall. Greg's asking, is there a declaration of emergency issued for Louisiana and Texas? There is an emergency declaration for Louisiana. I'm not 100% sure about Texas, but I can't imagine that there wouldn't be. I would think that there certainly would be for the Corpus Christi and Houston area, and I think that would probably extend all the way up to Beaumont. I haven't heard it specifically with my own ears, but I'm almost certain that it's probably there. And I do know for a fact that the emergency declaration was declared by the governor for Louisiana. That was done a little after noon this afternoon. Casey asks, could Calcasieu Parish see mandatory evacuations in the near future, or should we just stay off the roads over the course of this weekend? No, I don't anticipate that Calcasieu Parish is going to issue any kind of a mandatory evacuation. But yes, at the same time, you do want to stay off the roads. Tomorrow and Saturday, you're probably going to be okay. I don't anticipate that we're going to be seeing any real significant rains tomorrow and Saturday. It's from Sunday forward that we're really going to be looking for those heavy rainfalls, and that's when you're going to want to stay off the roadways during that time. From Sunday, probably all the way through Thursday. Alrighty. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. I'm still seeing a lot of questions asking about individual points. Again, as I mentioned earlier, all of our graphics here that we've shown on the briefing this evening are available as individual static images on our Facebook page. You can go check those out and kind of pinpoint your exact location and see what the conditions are looking like for that area. Bottom line, though, as we go through the night and into tomorrow, we're still expecting, I'm going to go ahead and say catastrophic, almost, rainfall here beginning Sunday and through the middle part of next week. So it's something that you're going to want to prepare for here. You've got, like I said, still a couple of days to get any preparations done. Sandbag locations are open throughout much of the area if you need them. I'm actually probably going to go get some myself at some point. Make sure you stock up on food for a few days, because there's going to be a few days that most likely you're not going to be able to or not want to get out of your house. So that's kind of the take-home message tonight. Flooding is what it's all about this evening, or what it's going to be about. We're going to do another one of these briefings tomorrow morning. I'll post it on Facebook when we have a definite time. I think it'll probably be somewhere around 11 o'clock. If that changes, I'll be sure to let you know. And then we'll be doing these briefings again periodically throughout the day, as we have today and yesterday. In the meantime, I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. I'm going to go get some sleep. I hope y'all go get some sleep. Don't worry about it too much tonight. We've still got a couple of days, so stay calm and have a great evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, hey, Dallas, awesome. Dallas is going to be fine. If you get north of Austin, you're going to be fine. If you're going to be San Antonio and south, you're not going to be fine. And so, from not that bad.
Comparative to flood levels that we saw during Ike.
No, we're not expecting that. Now,
are in the mid to high 80s. And so this is like bathwater here in the Gulf of Mexico. And many times in the past, we have seen these systems undergo rapid intensification. And that is one weakness of our computer models. As good as they are, they have a poor track record when it comes to short-term changes in intensity with these hurricanes. They can literally go overnight from Cat 1 to Cat 4 status. We saw Harvey go from a tropical depression last night to an 85-mile-per-hour hurricane this afternoon, and that of course occurred in about a 16-hour time period. So that's one thing I would caution you. Even though the forecast is for a Category 3 at landfall, the potential is there for this to strengthen into a Category 4 hurricane. Let's go back to our weather maps here, and we will show you the track, the official track. Again, this is as of late Thursday night. We'll get an update on this right around 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. It has it as a Category 3 hurricane early tomorrow evening, making landfall here, likely on the central Texas coast in the vicinity of Corpus Christi, or perhaps just to the northeast of there, roughly around midnight tomorrow night, give or take a couple hours on either side. But as we go in time here, I don't want you to focus so much on this red line here, but more the what we call the cone of uncertainty here. That is outlined in silver. So the hurricane can literally track anywhere inside that area bounded by that silver line, and that will grow. That cone of uncertainty will grow larger with time as we head through the weekend. Here's the other thing to mention as we head into this up and coming weekend. Upper level winds are going to remain very light across Texas. And in a situation like that, these tropical systems without strong steering currents tend to either stall out or they move very slowly and very erratically. It's almost like a block of Jell-O. You can give it a nudge, but it can literally wobble left or wobble right or wobble forward or backward here. And so this very slow, erratic motion is likely to continue all weekend long after this hurricane makes landfall. It will slowly decrease in intensity too. In fact, we'll go back and we'll show you the official track. By Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, it is a tropical storm. But you can see here, it barely moves at all from Saturday evening to Sunday evening, and that certainly raises a huge concern because it's going to be dumping rain this entire time. It raises a huge flooding concern across South Texas and eventually Southeast Texas. Now, I do believe as we head into early next week, winds in the upper atmosphere will increase a bit out of the west, and this should give Harvey a push off to the east-northeast by Tuesday evening. The official location there is just northeast of Houston, but you can see just how large the cone of uncertainty becomes by Tuesday evening. It's anywhere down here in the Gulf of Mexico, the northern Gulf, off the coast of Louisiana, or perhaps up here in North Texas. So the midpoint of that would be in Southeast Texas. Storm surge, roughly 6 to 12 feet is what we're expecting right now, from roughly Corpus Christi on up through Matagorda Bay to roughly just south of the Freeport area. And then from Freeport, as you head to the northeast, up towards the Galveston area, that's where we expect a storm surge of 6 to perhaps as much as 9 feet. This is eventually going to become the major story, and this is rainfall forecast into early next week. And easily, I think we could see double-digit rainfall totals here in San Antonio, in Houston, down towards Corpus Christi, many of the coastal locations, and I would not be surprised at all if there are several isolated locations that see in excess of 2 feet of rain. Now, I do believe that the flooding threat will likely stay from Waco southward based on the movement of this system. Here in North Texas, we're really only going to be relegated to a few spiral rain bands that'll make it up here, and I'm really not concerned about the flood threat, again, based on the current track and the current thinking. If this system were to head farther northward, obviously that forecast would change, but for right now, I think the major flooding threat will stay, especially south of Waco, with the highest threat here in the I-10 corridor and points southward. Here's a look now at our rain chances, which will remain at 30% overnight tonight and tomorrow. Higher chances, I think, west of Dallas and Fort Worth through Friday. And then over the weekend, I'll maintain those 30% chances. Again, what we'll likely be dealing with are a few spiral rain bands that could make their way up into North Texas. But again, not expecting the flooding rain here. Here's Futurecast showing some widely scattered showers overnight tonight, but any of those showers will be capable of producing some torrential rain. And then as we head into tomorrow, while you don't see it here, I still think we will see some widely scattered showers, especially west of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I'm going to expand the view, and boy, you can see very heavy rain literally continuing all weekend long down to our south, and that will pose a major threat for flooding. So that is the very latest regarding Hurricane Harvey at this point in time. We'll get a new update tomorrow morning, a full update from the National Hurricane Center, including any updates they have on the official forecast track. But I do expect this storm to begin intensifying as early as overnight tonight. Certainly tomorrow we're likely to see a stronger hurricane than what we're dealing with right now. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch Good Day first thing tomorrow morning for the very latest on Hurricane Harvey and, of course, our local forecast.
กรรมการไต่สวน
But look, it's doing this business. It's rotating around in circles, and so that's huge. That's a big thing. Can't deny that one. Okay, let me close this. I just wanted to show that to you. Nope, no changes. Okay, good. Sorry I haven't been able to keep up with the reading because I'm looking at the screen. Oh, everybody's talking now. Hi, Wendy. Jack Burton, everybody. Jack Burton. Thomas Udeste. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Autumn Jackson. Love that name. Katie Bowers. Katie, how are you? What took you so long? What time tomorrow? Tomorrow evening. This time tomorrow, we're going to be facing some heavy rain and wind already. So batten the hatches, as they say. Constant 74-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah. I don't know what the gust would be. I have no idea. Yeah, I don't think people still really quite get it. They will get it by this time tomorrow. They won't have any doubts whatsoever on their mind what's going on. Why am I leaving a blank screen? Sorry. Okay, there. That pretty much says what you got to know. See the orange? That's tropical storm string. That's us. Hey, David. Hey, Katie. So do you remember the last time we had a tropical storm warning for San Antonio? I don't. And the hurricane warning ain't far below that. So Desiree, I love that name. So Nixon, yes. Okay. Stop asking about your little towns or any town, or any side of town, because if you look at the map, it answers your question. It's everywhere. And it's going to come by Saturday at 10 a.m. San Antonio is going to be facing a lot of stuff. No school, no work. It's Saturday and Sunday and Monday. Tomorrow, you can still get stuff done. If you have not picked up your lawn furniture from the yard, pick it up now. Tie things down. Get the cats inside. Get the dogs put away, whatever. Don't check on some of the old folks, okay? And with high winds all Saturday, you know what's going to be scary? I'm going to be real honest. Saturday night's going to be scary because it's going to be blowing like a son of a gun and raining hard. So Saturday late, like Saturday afternoon, evening, Saturday night, it's going to be scary. And I don't use that word very often, but I'm being dead serious. You're gonna remember what I said. It is going to be like the scariest it's been in San Antonio in a long time. We get flooding. I know that. We don't get this kind of wind. I can't recall San Antonio getting a 70-mile-an-hour wind for a while. So it's a big metropolitan area. I expect we're going to have trees up, all kinds of damage, roofs. Maybe some of the tall buildings in town, the windows may shatter from just vibration. So everybody hang on to your horses, okay? It ain't going to be good. And so that's all I want to tell you. I've been on for a while. It's going to be 11. And I'm going to take a break. I'll probably come back on again at maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. And Jeanette Kaye comes and relieves me at 2. And then, yeah, it's Albert, not Alex. Alex is on our other station, and he's doing a great job as well, as a matter of fact. So, thank you, everybody, for putting up with me. And know that we have 8 meteorologists here in the building, and we're going in shifts so that you will have absolutely round-the-clock coverage. If you go to our website, news4sa.com, we should be streaming pretty much all the time, so that you can catch us anytime. But this is coming out of my office right now, and I'm probably going to join Alex in a second. We have like a dual feed for both stations, and I'm going to go do that. So everybody heed my warnings and be ready. You're expecting everything in Kerrville that everybody else is getting. Probably more so because you're high, and Hill Country floods worse than it does in most places. So Kerrville is right in the, could catch some pretty good stuff. Okay, God bless everybody. I'll be back on. Here's Corpus Christi, and it's right there.
to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Saturday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 50%. Saturday night, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Sunday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 50%. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Monday, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Monday night, mostly
on air at the top of every hour,
and
that, of course, our morning news will start at 4 a.m. where we can give you a lot more details of what's going on. And, of course, don't forget about our social media and online. We'll continue to keep you updated at fox26houston.com.
Cloudy in the evening, then becoming partly cloudy. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Harvey expected to strengthen as it moves towards the Texas coast. Life-threatening and devastating flooding expected near the coast due to heavy rainfall and storm surge. At 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or 0300 UTC, the center of Hurricane Harvey was located near latitude 25.2 north, latitude 94.6 west. Harvey is moving toward the northwest near 10 miles per hour, 17 kilometers per hour. This general motion is expected to continue with a decrease in forward speed during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, Harvey will approach the middle Texas coast on Friday and make landfall Friday night or early Saturday. Harvey is then likely to stall near or just inland of the middle Texas coast through the weekend. Reports from an Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that maximum sustained winds remain near 85 miles per hour, 140 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. While Harvey has changed little in strength over the past several hours, strengthening is expected to resume later tonight, and Harvey is expected to become a major hurricane by Friday before it reaches the middle Texas coast. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles 35 kilometers from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 105 miles 165 kilometers. The latest minimum central pressure reported by the Hurricane Hunter aircraft is 973 millibars, 28.74 inches. You're listening to your weather radio, station WXK36. Broadcasting in Tyler on 162.475 megahertz. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Here's a look at local weather conditions as of 10 p.m. At the top of the hour, skies were clear in Tyler. The temperature was 80 degrees at the regional airport. The dew point was 74, making the relative humidity 81%. Winds were east at 9 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.92 inches and rising. In Longview, skies were mostly cloudy, with a temperature of 78 degrees. The dew point was 75, making the relative humidity 90%. Winds were northeast at 5 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.93 inches and rising. Once again in Tyler, it was 80 degrees with clear skies at 10 p.m. Around the local area at 10 p.m., in Terrell, clear and 79. Wind northeast at 6 miles an hour. DFW Airport, partly cloudy and 82. Wind east at 10 miles an hour. Paris, partly cloudy and 75. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. Texarkana, partly cloudy and 74. Wind east at 3 miles an hour. Shreveport, partly cloudy and 79 degrees. Wind east at 7 miles an hour. Jacksonville, cloudy and 79 degrees. Wind east at 5 miles an hour. Palestine, cloudy and 81 degrees. Wind east at 7 miles an hour. And at Corsicana, cloudy and 82 degrees. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. Elsewhere across the four-state region, Oklahoma City, mostly cloudy and 76. Little Rock, partly cloudy and 71. Jackson, Mississippi, clear and 77. Baton Rouge, partly cloudy and 77. And at Houston, mostly cloudy and 80 degrees. For the most current information, check us out on the web at www.weather.gov/shp. Now let's check on your local forecast. Rest of tonight, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the upper 80s. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Saturday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the lower 80s. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Saturday night, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Sunday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 40%. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows around 70. Chance of precipitation 30%. Monday, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 30%. Monday night, mostly cloudy. Lows around 70. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 60s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Wednesday night, becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the upper 60s. Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 80s. This is NOAA Weather Radio, station WXK36, operating on a frequency of 162.475 MHz, providing the latest weather information on a 24-hour basis. Broadcasts originate from the National Weather Service office in Shreveport, Louisiana. Please visit us online at weather.gov/SHP. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at NWS Shreveport. Harvey expected to strengthen as it moves towards the Texas coast. Life-threatening and devastating flooding expected near the coast due to heavy rainfall and storm surge. At 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 0300 UTC, the center of Hurricane Harvey was located near latitude 25.2 north, longitude 94.6 west. Harvey is moving toward the northwest near 10 miles per hour, 17 kilometers per hour. This general motion is expected to continue with a decrease in forward speed during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, Harvey will approach the middle Texas coast on Friday and make landfall Friday night or early Saturday. Harvey is then likely to stall near or just inland of the Middle Texas coast through the weekend. Reports from an Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that maximum sustained winds remain near 85 miles per hour, 140 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. While Harvey has changed little in strength over the past several hours, strengthening is expected to resume later tonight, and Harvey is expected to become a major hurricane by Friday before it reaches the Middle Texas coast. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles 35 kilometers from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 105 miles 165 kilometers. The latest minimum central pressure reported by the Hurricane Hunter aircraft is 973 millibars, 28.74 inches. You're listening to your weather radio, station WXK36, broadcasting in Tyler on 162.475 megahertz. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Here's a look at local weather conditions as of 10 p.m. At the top of the hour, skies were clear in Tyler. The temperature was 80 degrees at the regional airport. The dew point was 74, making the relative humidity 81%. Winds were east at 9 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.92 inches and rising. In Longview, skies were mostly cloudy, with a temperature of 78 degrees. The dew point was 75, making the relative humidity 90%. Winds were northeast at 5 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.93 inches and rising. Once again in Tyler, it was 80 degrees with clear skies at 10 p.m. Around the local area at 10 p.m., in Terrell, clear at 79. Wind northeast at 6 miles an hour. ESW Airport, partly cloudy and 82. Wind east at 10 miles an hour. Paris, partly cloudy and 75. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. Texarkana, partly cloudy and 74. Wind east at 3 miles an hour. Shreveport, partly cloudy and 79 degrees. Wind east at 7 miles an hour. Jacksonville, cloudy and 79 degrees. Wind east at 5 miles an hour. Palestine, cloudy and 81 degrees. Wind east at 7 miles an hour. And at Corsicana, cloudy and 82 degrees. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. Elsewhere across the four-state region, Oklahoma City, mostly cloudy and 76. Little Rock, partly cloudy and 71. Jackson, Mississippi, clear and 77. Baton Rouge, partly cloudy and 77. And at Houston, mostly cloudy and 80 degrees. For the most current information, check us out on the web at www.weather.gov/SHC. Here is the latest National Hurricane Center's tropical weather outlook. For the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, the National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Hurricane Harvey, located over the western Gulf of Mexico. A trough of low pressure located over the eastern Gulf of Mexico continues to produce disorganized showers and thunderstorms over southern and central Florida and adjacent waters. Although strong upper-level winds should limit tropical cyclone formation, some subtropical development is possible over the weekend or early next week while the system moves northeastward over the western Atlantic before it merges with the front. Regardless of development, very heavy rain and flooding is possible mainly over portions of southern and central Florida during the next few days. Please refer to products from your local National Weather Service office for more information on the system. Formation chance through 48 hours, low, 10%. Formation chance through 5 days, medium, 40%. Now let's check on your local forecast. Rest of tonight, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the upper 80s. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Saturday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the lower 80s. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Saturday night, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Sunday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 40%. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows around 70. Chance of precipitation 30%. Monday, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 30%. Monday night, mostly cloudy. Lows around 70. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 60s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Wednesday night, becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the upper 60s. Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 80s. You're listening to your weather radio, station WXK36, broadcasting in Tyler on 162.475 megahertz. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Here's a look at local weather conditions as of 11 p.m. At the top of the hour, skies were clear in Tyler. The temperature was 80 degrees at the regional airport. The dew point was 73, making the relative humidity 79%. Winds were east at 12 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.93 inches and rising. In Longview, skies were partly cloudy, with a temperature of 77 degrees. The dew point was 74, making the relative humidity 90%. Winds were northeast at 5 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.92 inches and falling. Once again in Tyler, it was 80 degrees with clear skies at 11 p.m. Around the local area at 11 p.m. in Terrell, clear at 79. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. DFW Airport, mostly cloudy and 82. Wind east at 10 miles an hour. Paris, clear at 75. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. Texarkana, clear at 73. Wind northeast at 5 miles an hour. Shreveport, partly cloudy and 78 degrees. Wind east at 9 miles an hour. Jacksonville, partly cloudy and 78 degrees. Wind east at 6 miles an hour. Palestine, partly cloudy and 80 degrees. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. And at Corsicana, cloudy and 82 degrees. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. Elsewhere across the four-state region, Oklahoma City, cloudy and 75. Little Rock, partly cloudy and 68. Jackson, Mississippi, clear at 76. Baton Rouge, cloudy and 77. And at Houston, cloudy and 78 degrees. For the most current information, check us out on the web at www.weather.gov/SHP. Now let's check on your local forecast. Rest of tonight, mostly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Highs in the upper 80s. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday night, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Saturday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the lower 80s. East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 40%. Saturday night, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the lower 70s. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Sunday, cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 40%. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows around 70. Chance of precipitation 30%. Monday, mostly cloudy with chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 30%. Monday night, mostly cloudy. Lows around 70. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Lows in the upper 60s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Wednesday, mostly cloudy with slight chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs in the mid-80s. Chance of precipitation 20%. Wednesday night, becoming partly cloudy. Lows in the upper 60s. Thursday, mostly sunny. Highs in the upper 80s. Harvey expected to strengthen as it moves towards the Texas coast. Life-threatening and devastating flooding expected near the coast due to heavy rainfall and storm surge. At 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or 0300 UTC, the center of Hurricane Harvey was located near latitude 25.2 north, longitude 94.6 west. Harvey is moving toward the northwest near 10 miles per hour, 17 kilometers per hour. This general motion is expected to continue with a decrease in forward speed during the next couple of days. On the forecast track, Harvey will approach the middle Texas coast on Friday and make landfall Friday night or early Saturday. Harvey is then likely to stall near or just inland of the middle Texas coast through the weekend. Reports from an Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft indicate that maximum sustained winds remain near 85 miles per hour, 140 kilometers per hour with higher gusts. While Harvey has changed little in strength over the past several hours, strengthening is expected to resume later tonight, and Harvey is expected to become a major hurricane by Friday before it reaches the middle Texas coast. Hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles 35 kilometers from the center, and tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 105 miles 165 kilometers. The latest minimum central pressure reported by the Hurricane Hunter aircraft is 973 millibars, 28.74 inches. This is NOAA Weather Radio, station WXK36, operating on a frequency of 162.475 MHz, providing the latest weather information on a 24-hour basis. Broadcasts originate from the National Weather Service office in Shreveport, Louisiana. Please visit us online at weather.gov/MHD. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at NWS Shreveport. You're listening to your weather radio, station WXK36, broadcasting in Tyler on 162.475 MHz. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Here's a look at local weather conditions as of 11 p.m. At the top of the hour, skies were clear in Tyler. The temperature was 80 degrees at the regional airport. The dew point was 73, making the relative humidity 79%. Winds were east at 12 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.93 inches and rising. In Longview, skies were partly cloudy, with a temperature of 77 degrees. The dew point was 74, making the relative humidity 90%. Winds were northeast at 5 miles an hour. The pressure was 29.92 inches and falling. Once again in Tyler, it was 80 degrees with clear skies at 11 p.m. Around the local area, 11 p.m. in Terrell, clear at 79. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. PSW Airport, mostly cloudy and 82. Wind east at 10 miles an hour. Paris, clear at 75. Wind east at 8 miles an hour. Texarkana, clear at 73. Wind northeast at 5 miles an hour. Shreveport, partly cloudy and 78 degrees. Wind east at 9 miles an hour. Jacksonville, partly cloudy and 78
you don't have any means of
degrees.
anything.
Wind east at 6 miles an hour.
Traveling becomes an issue because roadways are flooded. You know, it's another good point. Even if you make it, you ride out the storm, well, you're going to be able to get away? I mean, it's not a laughing matter. It is very serious. And I've been talking about the Beeville, the Corpus, the Victoria area. The people that live in these areas need to evacuate. I mean, it's plain and simple. Unfortunately, we're going to hear Saturday, Sunday, Monday people that stayed, and there's going to be water rescues, which obviously puts people that are doing those water rescues, those lives in danger. So not only are you risking your life by staying in these areas, you're risking other people's lives that really shouldn't be out there trying to save your life when you had plenty of time to evacuate. Right now, you have plenty of time if you're in those areas. There's no reason to not leave. Things could be replaced. Human life cannot. I hate to put it bluntly, but that's about as blunt as I can put something. Yeah, Lisa, after Katrina was scary, couldn't even call the police for help. Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, it's, you know, cell towers are going to be down. Communication's not going to be there. It literally will be like you're stranded. You're literally stranded in an area. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there's a good, strong possibility that it can happen. I lived in Victoria for 28 years. No game here. Take it serious, people. Last time Victoria even came close to a hurricane was 47 years ago. And I really don't know what all happened there, but that was the last time the Corpus and anything like this happened. It was 47 years ago, any type of major hurricane. You just don't want to be there. You know, me as a storm chaser, you know, I don't make the call until kind of last minute whether or not I'm going to go to certain places. I know some of the roads down there. I know what floods. Even if you're in Victoria and you're like, oh, well, it doesn't flood on this road, or it doesn't flood here. I don't think you've ever seen what 20 to 30 inches of rain can do. Beeville, Victoria, Corpus Christi. There has never been a storm like this on record that's hit that area. Houston, when Tropical Storm Allison, once again, keep in mind, Allison was only a tropical storm. This was in 2001. The entire city was completely shut down. They didn't do evacuations because they had no idea that much rain was going to happen. It was a tropical storm coming in. People were stranded. Water rose into people's homes. Electricity was still on, and people would get electrocuted. There's just so many horror stories that I hear when people don't evacuate. I don't want to hear horror stories. I want to hear people, oh yeah, I evacuated. I got out of Dodge. We packed up stuff that was valuable to us. Unfortunately, you don't know what you're going to come home to when you come home, but hey, that's life. You got to prepare for something like this. And I'm not one to overhype things. I'm not overhyping. I'm not trying to overhype anything. I'm just telling it how it is and how it could be. So let me get back on track here. just some food for thought for people that are still in those mandatory evacuation areas that really should evacuate. Hey Brian, yeah, Rose is sleeping, of course. Not much can wake that girl, and I'm in my office.
Let's see. Yeah, the Brownsville area is fixing to get hit by a pretty good rain band there. Yes, this just continues to look like it's moving west-northwest. Very, very interesting on that radar there. I'm going to pan back out to Corpus. Actually, I can change. Let me change a couple of things here. It's a little bit different. I'm trying to remember. Give me just a second. Alright, let me get out of here, take a look at a couple of, see if there's any new rainfall
estimates. And if I'm missing some of your questions here, I'll get back to them here in just a minute. I just want to take a look at a couple of things on here. Please feel free to re-ask these questions. I see a few questions on there, there's quite a few. But hang tight for just a minute and I'll get back to those questions.
Yeah, that hasn't changed. Yeah, there's some of the latest spaghetti models there. They're all pretty much right in on Corpus, maybe a little west of Corpus, stalling it just south of San Antonio, most of the models, and kind of looping it around there. Definitely primed for 20 to 30 inches of rain. Looks like all of the models now are predicting just category 3, even some not bringing it up to 3. So it looks like the intensity has weakened a little bit, which is a good sign, obviously. Category 4 looks pretty much out of the question now. Let this load up. Just taking a minute for this to load. This is going to be a loop image, and you can see how large this hurricane is. I mean, it's just huge. And it's becoming a little bit more compact because it's getting stronger. But once it hits land, this thing will expand outward. Doesn't really have an eye on the satellite that's extremely visible. Looks like there was there earlier, and then maybe it's actually trying to form an eye wall. I'm sorry, I can't talk this evening. Right about there, and just by satellite imagery, it still looks like it's kind of moving towards the northwest, which is put it south of Corpus. But as you saw just a little while ago on the radar image, it looked like it was moving more west-northwest.
All right. So, okay, so let me get back to some of these questions. wind has dropped. Vaughn, does that cause storm to drop in category? No. The outside temperature has pretty much nothing to do with the hurricane. A lot of it has to do with the water temperatures. The water temperatures are between 85 and 88 degrees. You have very warm water currents that feed these hurricanes, basically. That's why these hurricanes can still increase in speed at night, and increase in intensity. It has nothing to do with the sun. Sometimes you'll see them compress a little bit, because the outer bands are typically, some of those are generated, heat generated by the sun, but no, it's not weakened. Alright, so let's see. So yeah, if I missed somebody else's questions, go ahead and re-ask them on here. Yeah, Florida's getting a ton of rain out there too. A little disturbance out that way. Nothing as far as tropical, or it's tropical rain. It's clearly expected or predicted to be without power for 2 or more days. I mean, there's going to be some isolated power outages. I mentioned this earlier this evening, especially if we get the winds up here. I don't see it's going to be for more than 24 hours, honestly. It's smaller towns, usually we can get power up a little bit faster. And Pflugerville's not a very heavily treed area, like parts of Austin. Those areas could be out for a while. Now, further south you go, San Marcos, San Antonio, points south of I-10. Yes, definitely. Derek, you're heading out. Okay. Oh, is everybody getting Kit Kats now? Okay. Did I promote a Kit Kat commercial by saying I wanted a Kit Kat? I guess so. I need to make sure I get some reimbursements from Kit Kat. Jesse, I don't think no direct hit on Houston. Just mainly heavy rains and flooding, up to 20 inches of rain. Houston's seen it before. Obviously, if we get 20 inches of rain in Austin, we've never seen that. Even the 1981 Memorial Day flood, we saw upwards of about a foot, which caused major issues. Those people that are in the Shoal Creek waterbed, some of the waterbeds that do flood frequently, you will want to prepare for stuff. The 7-Eleven that's down there on North Lamar, or on Lamar, down by Shoal Creek, some of those bar areas and stuff like that, they'll want to prepare. I'm sure they already are. It's just family in spring come to Austin, which area will be worse? At this point, they could almost be the same. I mean, we could actually see stronger winds here in Austin than Houston does, but Houston would see more flooding, I think. Yeah, always go north. Yeah, I mean, if you're in the Houston area, go north to Dallas if you want to take extra precautions there. As I had mentioned earlier, Houston, if you're going to do evacuations, it's going to be due to flooding. If you live in a low area that's susceptible to flooding, that is a time that you would want to evacuate. Don't do it when it's happening. Do it, plan ahead, obviously. SpaghettiOs is my good go-to. Nice. Onion Creek area, I mean, if we get a foot of rain up here, which is not out of the realm of possibilities, yes, it's going to flood. Take preparations now, tomorrow especially. If you have sandbags, or if you have anything to protect if you are in a low-lying area. If somebody could text or type to Wendy, just tell her to restart her Facebook. That'll usually help with the audio. It's going to mainly stall because there's nothing out there that's going to push the hurricane anywhere. There's a frontal system that's kind of north of the area, and it kind of will run into that frontal boundary.
And we have a couple of troughs, high pressure centers that are on either side of it, not being able to steer it anywhere. We basically don't have any upper level steering currents, and that's basically why it's going to stall. Now where it stalls, that's the big question. Obviously the further north it moves, the more rains we have here in Austin, the higher winds we have. The further south it stalls, the less rains we'll have and lower wind speeds. No matter what we're going to see, when it rains, we're going to see some wind, but hopefully we'll get a little bit better grip on that tomorrow. No, it's not weakening. It's just going through an eye regeneration. Yeah, sorry if I'm getting a little quieter. I'll speak up a little bit. When do you refresh it 10 times? Yeah, see if she's restarted her entire Facebook. I don't know why she's not being able to hear me. It could be Wi-Fi issues. I had to restart my modem earlier this evening because I just kept losing the internet for whatever reason. There's a ton of people on the internet tonight. Ton of data being thrown around, so there's definitely going to be some issues there. Leslie, as far as canceled classes on Monday, yeah, that's a definite possibility, and the reason for that, well, one, we could be dealing with some flooding. Obviously, Pflugerville starts school on Monday. Some of the area high schools will actually be set up as shelters, and depending on how long those shelters are going to be open, obviously that would cancel classes for those high schools. I do not know if Pflugerville is going to be in any of those shelter areas. They haven't announced it. I assume tomorrow that we're going to see a lot of shelters opening up. Local authorities and the news will let us know what those are going to be. Okay, great. Restarted Facebook and it worked. Awesome. Natalie, I read your question. Mom has to drive back to Houston tomorrow. What time should she leave Pflugerville and make it there safe? Anytime before noon would be best. She might go through a couple of strong showers, but hopefully she's not on the southern part of Houston. The northern part of Houston would just see heavier rains. Yeah, isolated tornadoes are definitely possible. These are going to be very weak tornadoes, F0 tornadoes, winds max out probably 100 miles an hour. They basically drop down out of the clouds and pop right back up. Very common with landfall hurricanes. Probably after the hurricane makes landfall, after about 24 hours, that tornado threat decreases rapidly. So by Sunday, I would not expect any kind of tornado threats, just some winds and very, very heavy rain. Hurricane Claudette, yeah, I guess that did kind of hit Victoria, but I believe it hit on the east side of Victoria. So it wouldn't have been nearly as strong as this is coming in, as Victoria would be on the or the hurricane will be west of Victoria. Yeah, no hell. Yeah, once people start announcing shelters, I'll definitely post that information up. I'll try to post shelters for the Waco and even the Dallas areas, because I know a lot of people are possibly going to be driving that far. Flight delays, absolutely. There's already been flight delays in the Corpus and in the Houston area. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, Corpus I can kind of understand, but as far as Austin and San Antonio, I'm not sure why there's flight delays going on. Maybe there's something else in the country that's going on. But there will be flight delays starting as early as tomorrow. Cancellations possibly on Saturday. I saw somebody earlier that asked a question about cruise ships out of Galveston. I have not heard of them canceling any of these trips. I would assume that they will, just because of the surge that's expected there. Granted, they're not going to have a ton of wind. I mean, they might have 40, 50 mile an hour winds, but the surge is going to be a huge impact. 6 feet of surge in the Galveston area is going to put a lot of those docks underwater.
So I can't imagine any cruise ships actually leaving. That's a great question from earlier. Well, yeah, Bethany, you said it's still a freaking tornado. Honestly, this hurricane is like a big tornado. As I mentioned, the tornadoes that this would produce, if any, in our area would be 100 miles or less. Well, this hurricane's going to be coming in with a center that's going to have 120 mile an hour winds. So it's basically like a huge tornado. But thankfully, that's not going to come all the way up here. That we're not worried about. That's what's driving out of New Mexico. I mean, if he leaves New Mexico early in the morning, it should be okay. In Pflugerville, I think we'll start seeing some heavier rains into the evening hours. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to have breaks in some of this rain. It's not going to be constant, heavy flooding rains the entire time. We'll get some bands that come in, some really intense rains. It'll kind of be on and off, but definitely not going to see any sunshine for a while. Some checks Red Cross has issued an urgent request for volunteer shelter workers and managers. That I can understand highly. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a huge need for volunteers during the storm, after the storm, cleanup, people that can take water, food, stuff like that down to the coastal areas for the people that ended up staying. You know, not everybody reads social media. Not everybody pays attention to TV. There's just a lot of people that will stay down there just because they're not hearing things like this. They're not hearing what could happen. They're like, oh, we've been here for 60 years. We went through this one hurricane. Well, unfortunately, I hear the story every time of the people that do stay say, oh, wow, I didn't think this was going to be quite as strong as a hurricane that I'd been through 30 years ago. Well, first off, hurricanes 30 years ago, times are a lot different these days. There's a lot more as far as buildings. The rainfall. I mean, there's just too many factors in this that I can't really... Friends want to go to Frio this weekend? Absolutely not. No. Just, I mean, I can't put it any simpler than the word no. Flooding. The Frio River, first off, that area, it's all limestone. And you get a couple inches of rain and you're already flooded. It's a dangerous situation, period. No, absolutely do not go to the Frio River. I would assume that he's talking about around Concan area. No, definitely not. Pamela, you have a friend due to return from a cruise on Saturday. They've been told they will stay out to sea away from the hurricane. They're going to be out to sea for a while. I mean, they did not come in until late Sunday, Monday. So that would be interesting because that surge is going to be around for a while. At least rough seas. Tyler, Canton, Lufkin areas. I mean, there'll be some rain. The winds aren't going to be that bad. Maybe 2 to 5 inches of rain up in that area. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, Amber, rainfall can definitely surpass the Memorial Day flood of 2015. I know it was pretty rough around here. But it could definitely happen. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, especially with the computer models predicting what they're predicting right now. I'm going to look at a couple of things on here. Mandy, as far as Bastrop, I hope it's indoors. And traveling will be it'll be questionable. A lot of areas in Bastrop could flood. 71 floods. It's probably not the best of ideas, but that's completely up to you. It's going to be Saturday will be the roughest day around here as far as winds and
the torrential rains. I mean, flooding will continue into Sunday and possibly even Monday. But not a good day for a birthday party. So if a few of y'all have been joining me through the night, I'm just going to do a little recap of what we can expect and what you need to do in our immediate area. Basically, tonight's going to be mostly dry. We could see a few scattered showers develop. Tomorrow we'll start seeing some rain bands moving in the afternoon. Could see some gusty winds, maybe 20 to 25 miles an hour. Those will start increasing through the evening. The rains will gradually get heavier, larger rain bands. And this tropical rain, it can come down just tremendously. Your wipers won't keep up with it. It can come down and then it can stop almost in a flash too. But we could see winds of 30 to 40 mile an hour sustained, with gusts to 50, maybe even 60 miles per hour, especially the further south you are. Precautions, what I was mentioning to people is go to the grocery store tomorrow morning. If you don't want to get out in the storm, go to the grocery store tomorrow morning, stock up on some foods, waters, just general stuff that gets you through the weekend. As far as preparations around the house, pick up loose items, put your trash cans in the garage, any loose items that are outside that can easily be picked up by winds, make sure they're secure or bring those inside. If you have patio furniture, probably be okay with just bringing the cushions inside. If you have a pool, you can throw the metal frames of the patio furniture in the pool and bring the cushions inside. Potted plants, you want to bring those inside because those can get tipped over, obviously, if they're lightweight. Just anything that's light outside. If you have any tarps that are set up, either make sure they're extremely secure. Trampolines, I don't know a lot about trampolines, maybe somebody can answer this question for me, but if you can flip those over and put weight on the outer edges, then those should be okay. As far as rainfall amounts, 6 to 12 inches in the Pflugerville area. Austin area, Elgin, Bastrop could see a little bit higher amounts. Where could I find a 100-year or 1,000-year floodplain? They do have them available online. I'm not exactly sure. It all depends on exactly where you live. But each city has one. I'm sure if you Googled it, you'd be able to find it pretty easily. Coming up on midnight, I'm thinking that we get an update on the National Hurricane Center. Let me check something out here. Let's see. No updates just yet. Nope, never mind. Harvey strengthens to a Category 2 hurricane. There's your update. So, it happened. Exactly what I was talking about last night. People are like, oh my gosh, there's no way this is going to become a hurricane, a Category 2 hurricane at that. Last night I mentioned I'd seen hurricanes go through rapid intensification, go from a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm, and within 24 hours it was a Category 2 hurricane. And this is exactly what happened. Sustained winds now are at 100 miles an hour, showing moving northwest at 10 miles an hour. As we saw a little while ago, it looked like it was jogging to the west, west-northwest. But last night at this time, I believe the advisory was 40 miles an hour for the midnight update. So yeah, 24 hours. This thing went from a weak tropical storm to a Category 2 hurricane. Impressive. I don't know if that's an exact word for that. Oh, so it's basically sitting flat. Okay, so somebody's answering my question about the trampoline. Pull the legs out of our trampoline setup. Hammer tough. Look at it. It's gonna be a lot tougher. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, I know nothing about trampolines. I like to jump on them, but I've never. Yeah, get it. Thank you, Erica, for that. John, yeah, I'm probably gonna go to sleep eventually, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock. I think that's about how late I was on last night. Yeah, so the hurricane is definitely strengthening. Let me see if they have any more updates. Yeah, they're writing their updates right now as we speak. Yeah, Category 2 hurricane. Who would have ever thought, right? Windy. There is plenty of time, and fuel. Yeah, possibly. It's moving a little faster now. Once again, that's not a good thing for us. The faster this moves, the further inland it's going to come. It's already set on a northwest course, pretty much. So we just don't want that to happen. Here's a statement at 12 o'clock. Pressure's dropped to 967 millibars. Wow. Yeah, sustained 100. Doesn't say what the gusts are, but I would assume gusts to about 120. It's about 220 miles southeast of Corpus Christi and 220 miles south-southeast of Port Connor. Minimal central pressure, as I said, 967 millibars, which equals 28.56 inches. See if they'll have a discussion out here in just a little bit. Wow. Pretty crazy. The last advisory, let me see what the last advisory was. It was, 973, and it dropped, wow. What did I say it was? 973, and it's now 967. Wow, yeah, that's a huge drop. But I think they were having problems in that last reconnaissance. So that might really be over a
I'm meteorologist John Dawson, the Fox Red Weather Center. Want to bring you the update, the latest that we've got on Harvey as it is continuing to march through the Gulf of Mexico and still having its eye on its landfall right near the Corpus Christi area. So for us here in Houston, that's the good news, but there's also plenty of bad news to tell you about for you folks in Houston. Glad you're still up and watching Fox 26. I want to give you the latest again on where we expect Hurricane Harvey, currently rated as a Category 2 hurricane, or will be soon, and it is continuing to head towards the Texas coastline, and it does look like its landfall is going to be just north of Corpus Christi. Right now, expected to be a Category 3 hurricane when it makes this landfall. Now, for us here in Houston, as it continues to approach the coast, you'll notice this.
Yeah, 967 millibars. That's a huge drop, as I was mentioning. Not good. Pronounced that wrong. But yes, it's with each model run and just the way everything's looking, it's becoming a little bit more intense for the Austin area. Higher rainfall is possible, higher winds. So we're just waiting. And Bethany, no, I mean, Jim Spencer's a fantastic meteorologist. I love him. He's the only one in Austin that I really care about anymore. A lot of the, I mean, it's not to say I don't care about some of the other meteorologists. Some of the meteorologists, they go a little bit overboard, get a little bit too excited about things. I won't mention one from KI. Rhymes with, I'm not going to say it. Some of these guys just get a little bit too overzealous on things, and I just don't like it. None of us are sleeping tomorrow night. I know tomorrow night's going to be an interesting night for me if I'm going to get much sleep. Maybe I can get a nap in the afternoon tomorrow. We'll see. Just have to see what kind of happens. Yes, the redefining of the eye wall, it is going through a strengthening phase right now. I had that up just a second ago. Let me refresh this and see what we look like. See if we do have another eye formation. Yeah, Donna just talked about that just a while ago. They did upgrade it to a Category 2. 100-mile-an-hour winds. Exactly what I was talking about last night. So, yeah, it looks like it's trying to form a reformation of the eye right about here. Getting some very strong storms in there. Let me go back to the Brownsville radar. We were looking at that earlier. Well, there we go. So yeah, I mean, in this image, it still looks northwest. Corpus Christi being right up, actually let me turn this off. Corpus Christi being right up here, 220 miles to the southeast, and probably about 180 miles to the east of Brownsville. Looks like they got smacked pretty good in Brownsville just a while ago with with an outer band right there. Let's see here. Give me just a second. I need to try to change a couple of things here. Yeah, so 157 miles from Brownsville, and then, oops. Yeah, there's a 220 from Corpus. Oops. This over a little bit. Okay, so let me go back through these questions here. Blah 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 blah. I missed quite a few, but I can scroll through these. Weather Channel's a little behind if they're still saying 971. Good point from Maggie. Okay, good to know. St. Joseph High School in San Antonio will serve as a shelter for Victoria County, and I think that is kind of the way it works. Some of these shelters will open up
specifically for areas around the state. Talking about Victoria, people should head towards the Dallas area because San Antonio and Austin are going to be stacked with people from the Corpus Christi area. So, but honestly, if you just get out of those areas, you're already doing tremendously better. Fish get overzealous. Okay. Somebody want to type to Cindy to tell her just to restart her Facebook. I think I'm still up as far as I know. Oh, somebody just did that. Derek, as far as it in Category 4, I mean, it's not out of the realm still of possibilities. However, the latest forecast models are not showing that. So I'd say we have a better chance of it not going to the Category 4, but as I mentioned last night, it could happen. So I'll still stick with that. But we got a strong Category 3 is be likely. Benjamin was in Corpus, so they know how things are there right now and what they're being told to tell you. He's considering essentially personnel and required to stay in Corpus. Yeah, and I understand that. There are people that know that they have to stay there for whatever reasons. But hopefully he knows enough people down there that he can recommend and tell these people to leave the area. Yeah, general manager for the transit agency obviously would need to stay, but you know, I would assume that he's going to be in a building, in a shelter building that won't have any issues. I would doubt that they would be out driving and everything unless it was safe. I have not heard Hutto High. As far as shelters around Austin, I think a lot of these are going to get announced tomorrow morning. More than likely they're having meetings late tonight or probably at 7 o'clock in the morning whenever a lot of these school districts start. Basically, they call the media and let them know, and the media spreads the word. So, yeah, media is going to be the first to find out on stuff like that. And you know, when I'm not around, when I'm not doing live broadcasts or doing updates and stuff like that, I mean, the media is a good place typically. You for yourself can figure out what advice is good and what advice is not good. I do watch occasionally the Weather Channel during hurricane situations because they get a lot of information too. Not to mention they're out there firsthand. I know a lot of people think that they're crazy for standing out there in the middle of a hurricane. I've done it personally. There are safe ways to do it. You know, of course, I'm the one telling you not to do this. They're telling you not to do that. But yes, there are safe ways to do it, and we know the risks. The area over by Florida, there just hasn't been enough. There's been no spin really over there. There's been a flare up of thunderstorms, and then they decrease, and then they flare up, and then they decrease. It is supposed to cross over possibly and move up the East Coast, but nothing more than that as of right now. Rio Grande Valley, you're fixing to get hit by a pretty significant squall line. Looks like Weslaco right now, approaching the Harlingen area, McAllen, as you see on my radar there on the left. That is, you're going to get 2 to 3 inches of rain, maybe some 30 to 40 mile an hour winds. New Braunfels, 5 to 10 inches, some winds, 40 to 50 miles an hour. Yeah, National Hurricane Center, I use that site all the time. Give me just a minute. I will be right back. I'll catch up on some of these questions. If you want to post some questions on there, I'll come back and take a look at those. Just got to step out for just a minute. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back here. Just a second. Make sure we got everything plugged in, working. Let's take a look at the satellite image. Yeah, nothing really changing there. Let's see. So, Kit Kat break. Well, no, I still didn't get any Kit Kats. I have to go get those in the morning at the store when I get all my water too. The brown water effect, yeah. I'll talk more about that again later. Good question, Garrett. Park cars outside. I mean, you won't have any problems up in this area unless you're parking underneath trees. You know, there could be some tree branches that get broken, but as far as just parking outside, shouldn't have any problems there. Yeah, no hail. Tropical systems never produce hail. They're very low cloud based. Ceiling tops of usually about 20,000 feet. I think it's happened a couple of times, but it's extremely rare, and it's usually on the most outer bands. But no, we're not going to get any hail. Well, Neil, yeah, barbecuing. No, that's a fantastic idea. Matter of fact, I did that one time. Gosh, I can't remember. It was a tropical storm that came up. I can't remember what it was. But I love barbecue, and I was like, oh, that's a good excuse to stay home and barbecue all day. And that's exactly what I did. All right, let me check out a couple things here. Let's see what we got. Let me see what the latest was on the National Weather Service. interesting map here. I don't think it's actually so the extreme potential for winds greater than 110 miles an hour, all the way from the southern coastline, Corpus Christi, Victoria, all this general area here. Looks like they've updated the surge threat, 9 feet. That's nothing really. I mean, 9 feet is huge. It's nothing really new. Let me see. No, Derek, San Antonio 30 inches, not very likely. 20 maybe max. And that would cause all kinds of problems if the hurricane stalls just to the south of San Antonio or moves over San Antonio or even into San Marcos. It just depends where it stalls. That's going to be the big question, because every single model is different on where it stalls. Most of them kind of stall it, move it down south a little bit. Some of them move them east. Some of them bring it back over the Gulf of Mexico. It's really hard to tell where those 20 to 30 inch bullseyes are going to be, but it's going to happen somewhere. There's almost no doubt about that. Alright, let me see a couple things here. So that system in Florida, they've actually upped the chance of that developing into a system over on the East Coast, somewhere between 40 and 60%, just FYI. But Brian, no, I don't sleep. Don't need sleep. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do sleep. I was thinking probably about 1 o'clock is going to be my cutoff tonight. Wanted to see if we could get any more forecast models out before I go to sleep, but I say 1 o'clock is going to be out the bus. Problem of making it fake. Let's answer the question. So I'm assuming everybody that's still left on here, you've heard my explanation of mandatory versus voluntary evacuations and locations that need to be evacuated. Corpus, Beeville, Victoria, all these general areas. Yeah, it looks like they have a 40% chance of that storm in the Florida area developing into something over the next 5 days over off the East Coast. You woke up an hour late. Well, that's needed that extra hour. I'll need an extra hour tonight, I think. Yeah, there was one of the forecast models on the GFS that kind of painted some of the, well, it maxed out at 24 inches. And San Antonio and Austin were in that realm, but the latest GFS kind of backed out on that a little bit as it moved the system, as it moved it in. Even though it was bringing it in further, to where it would have higher winds, it pushed it back over the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico. So the higher rainfalls will push a little bit further to the south. Anything can still happen. It really all depends on where the hurricane stalls. Once again, models are all over the place for that, as far as where they stall. That's where we're going to have to figure out what type of the amount of rain that we're going to see. Ashley, you shouldn't have any issues flying into Austin at that time. I've heard some cancellations and delays for whatever reason out of the Austin area today, even as early as today. I don't know what's going on there because the weather's just fine, and it will be fine in Austin until tomorrow. I would see zero reason. It might be maybe they're rerouting a lot of planes from the Corpus Christi area or Houston area to the Austin area. That might be due to delays for that. Let me go back. Yeah, it's just a little bit out too far to see. Oops. I just want to try a couple of things here.
And we continue southbound on the 605. Now speed's getting a little bit quicker, up at 80 miles an hour, 75 to 80 miles an hour. But pretty non-eventful. We did see him cross the double yellow line into oncoming traffic, but not a lot of traffic out here tonight down in Orange County. And so far, you know, always pursuits are dangerous, but this one, as far as a lot of the pursuits we've seen, not too terribly dangerous. But technically, we're really not in pursuit right now. As we mentioned before, they're in tracking mode. We'll see if the California Highway Patrol is advised and they take it over. They normally will re-engage a pursuit on the highways, so that's not uncommon. And we're waiting to see if
tomorrow
the sheriff's
to start picking up a little bit
is going to hand this over. Now we're hearing that the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department may be involved, even though we are continuing to go southbound on the 605 at speeds of 65 miles per hour. Coming up on Alondra Boulevard, this is the Norwalk area. Pretty uneventful. I mean, this guy's just kind of blending into traffic. You see it's a silver, an Acura, we believe. No black and whites behind him right now. Now, what we know is, again, the only thing he's wanted for is this traffic violation. Failure to yield, traffic violation. They backed off the pursuit, went into tracking mode, trying to get him to slow down, maybe pull over, maybe get out of the car, run, get into a neighborhood where they can deploy law enforcement in perimeter or containment for him, get him locked down. But, not happening. He's going to continue to drive here through Orange County as we going down to 605, getting into the Bellflower area, southbound 605. Speed looking 75 miles an hour. Again, nothing quickly. You can see the cars in the carpool lane, HOV lanes, even the number 1 lanes going right by this guy. He's in the number 2 lanes, 3 lanes, 3rd lane from the right. And we just passed underneath the 91 freeway here, southbound 605 coming into the Cerritos area. Now we're going to do an arrow. Now we got CHP involved. Now this is what will be interesting. CHP does like to re-engage suspects on pursuits when they get on their freeways. They're not big on tracking. You see he just turned on his emergency equipment, and now we are officially in pursuit. It is now CHP's pursuit, and here we go. So now we can officially say we're in pursuit. No longer in tracking mode. He is going off to the right. Not sure if he's going to yield, but we are southbound 605 in the Cerritos area. You're watching Air 7 HD. My name is JT Alpha, and we are streaming on abc7.com. Looks like we are going to be getting off. We think this might be Artesia. We'll give you the street in a second here. CHP Gold is the frequency. And this is South Street. We're going to be going eastbound on South Street. You got at least 2 black and whites involved. This is in the morning. Cerritos, so this is in LA County's area. CHP continuing the pursuit. Speeds 65, 70 miles an hour. So he's picking up the speed again now that the black and white is behind him. Let's pick it up a little bit here, Brennan. And he had a fresh green there, so we're going to try to stay over this as best we can, as speeds are picking up 80 miles an hour, getting a little bit more dangerous now that officers have re-engaged the pursuit. Suspect on the run. They're a little unusual for being wanted just for a traffic violation. There he goes. Wrong side of the road, making that left turn. He's going to be northbound on Jersey Avenue. SkyMap 7 giving us that information and making that quick right turn back eastbound. We believe this is 188th Street, maybe looking for a place to run. Back, makes that turn very quick, coming back towards us southbound, and that's Albertus Avenue in the Artesia area. Whoa, okay, making that big white turn. He's coming right back under us. And we're now back westbound on South Street. Wrong side of the road, very dangerous situation there. That's what we're worried about. That's the kind of stuff they don't want to see here with this pursuit, going the wrong side of the road. Speeds now 50 miles an hour and starting to climb as he's continuing on South Street at Gridley Road back towards the 605 where he just got off the freeway. We're going to try to pick it up a little bit, Brendan, so we can just catch up to him. 70 miles an hour. We're staying a little bit wide at these speeds, and if he goes on the opposite side of the road, we want to be wide because if he unfortunately runs into a motorist, we can go right through that shot. So we're giving you a little bit of a wider shot, trying to give you a little bit of a look ahead here so you can see what's coming into the gas station, the Valero gas station, right at South Street in Cerritos. And he's right at Studebaker Road, cuts through the gas station. Lots of people there getting gas in their car. Through the gas station, northbound Studebaker Road, about 40 miles an hour. Now he's cut across, making that U-turn back south, and you can see CHP right on him there. The Night Sun now with the helicopter back on, illuminating that suspect vehicle. As we continue southbound Studebaker Road, back through South Street, picking up the speed. Now it's getting dangerous again. When they were in that tracking mode, he blacked out, thought he was going to blend in, but you're not going to hide from law enforcement. They're not having it here. Speed's picking up here, 60 miles an hour. We're getting a little bit higher speeds here. Oops, we're going to come back up here. 75, we're going to let Sky Map settle down a little. 80 miles an hour, southbound Studebaker Road here in Cerritos. If you're in this area or thinking about going out, wait till this is out of the area. 90 miles an hour. Sky Map 7 giving us that miles per hour accurate information using GPS technology from the map, showing you we're at Studebaker and Del Amo. We're turning westbound on Del Amo from Studebaker. Okay, we're westbound Del Amo. They're doing some frequency changes here. CHP backing off just a little bit. There he is in that center divider here as we're on Del Amo westbound. Speeds approaching 90 miles an hour. Now this is really bad, really bad. This is the kind of speeds right through that green light. Luckily that wasn't red. Luckily not a whole lot of traffic out here, but 86 miles an hour. Let's catch up, Brennan. He's getting away from us. We're staying wide because if he goes through some of these intersections, we want to make sure that we are able to bring you this shot here as we continue westbound on Del Amo. That is Woodruff he just went through. Almost went right in the back of that car as he swerved to the right. Speeds like this, if a car gets in front of him, blacks out again, you see his taillights just going out, that's even more dangerous. As we mentioned on the freeway, if he blacks out, cars aren't going to see him coming. Now we're 85 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. He hit at one point, coming up through an intersection. Give me the, when he's coming up on a cross, let me know if you can, Brennan. That is Bellflower Boulevard. He's on Del Amo, and he just crossed Bellflower. Went right through that light. It's hard to believe this guy is just wanted for a traffic violation. That was the original want. We're trying to gain some more information from our assignment desk to try to find out what he may be, else he may be wanted for. It's got to be something more serious than that, because guys just do not run from the police for a traffic violation. You see some black and whites on the side there. Again, 80 miles an hour plus as we're working westbound on Del Amo. And that was Clark Avenue, working our way into Lakewood now. Now we are in the Lakewood area, as Sky Map 7 is showing us. Right through that red light, didn't even hit the brakes at all. We were watching the back of him, you didn't even see the brakes come on there. So lucky that maybe the people out here driving are seeing the night sun from the helicopter and slowing down. There's a green light. The green light was at Lakewood Boulevard here as he continues westbound on Del Amo. But speed's so fast right now. Again, we don't want to get too tight because if he does hit something, it's going to go right out of the frame. Trying to give you a little bit better look ahead what's coming up so you can anticipate just like we can. Coming up on a green light at an intersection. We believe this is Verdura Street in Lakewood. And he's going to make that right-hand turn. That's Downey Avenue here, going northbound on Downey Avenue. Wrong side of the road. Again, very lucky it's a little bit later, and now he crosses back over, and you can see, I'm not sure who's that. That's still Duke. That's Orange County Sheriff's Department Duke, I believe. Still over the pursuit column. We may have one or two air units over this, but trying to pull out to see if we still got a black and white anywhere near him. There is one. He's a little bit in trail. Northbound Downey, going through that red light. Didn't even bother to slow down. Luckily, people are slowing down and stopped. Speeds now 60 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, and growing close to 80 miles an hour. Northbound on Downey Avenue here in Lakewood. Coming right behind that car. This intersection is going to be back on South Street. We're westbound on South Street. Still in the Lakewood area. $80 miles an hour plus, just so dangerous here. Again, so lucky that it's this late at night. Blacked out, no one sees him coming. The only thing they see is that light from Duke overhead as he comes right through Paramount Boulevard, passes that ambulance up on the right side. And we are on South Street, continuing westbound on South Street, 80 miles an hour. Wow, this is a fast one and a very dangerous one. We keep saying that, and I just have to reiterate, if you live in these areas, coming into Long Beach right now, we've transitioned into East Long Beach as we continue westbound, and there's coming, making that right-hand turn, right-hand northbound turn, Brennan. We're right under us. Come on now, here we come. That's going to go right under us here. Our camera is able to do this without spinning out, which is great. A new technology here for extreme vision. So we're able to pull that off for you here. We're now northbound on Cherry here in Long Beach. Speeds about 70, well, about 50 miles an hour, slowing down a little bit here. A little bit more accurate when I zoom in on Sky Map 7 here. If this pursuit is going, we will have it live for you during our ABC 7 newscast at 11 p.m. We'll be able to give you play-by-play of what's going on, if this is still going on. Hopefully have some more information here as we continue northbound on Cherry at 70 miles. Ooh, fishtail a little bit, trying to get around those cars through that intersection. Wow, almost hit those cars. Wow, so close. That car coming through that red light. Almost hit him. He just narrowly missed that as we come back westbound on Artesia. That was a really close call there. That's the kind of stuff when he saw he was coming up on those vehicles, stopped at that red light, swerved to the right to the slow lane, almost lost control, went through that red light, saw that he had traffic, opposing traffic coming from his right side that had the green light. He swerved around that. Luckily, that car was able to brake and swerve right as well. Bicyclist there. Oh, wow. Almost hit that bicyclist got out of the way as he makes that northbound turn, or northbound orange from Artesia, still in the Long Beach area. Looks like we're going underneath the freeway there. Northbound orange, it looks like CHP is still the primary in this pursuit. This started probably about 45 minutes ago in the city of Fullerton. As far as we know right now, the suspect was wanted for a traffic violation and then failure to yield, I should say. Now we've got felony evading. At the very least, we think he may have been involved in a couple traffic accidents here as we continue on northbound orange. Still coming into the Paramount area now, leaving Long Beach, coming through Paramount. Now we've been talking about this, a suspect right through that red light, didn't even slow down. The suspect wanted just for a traffic violation and failure to yield. You gotta think he's wanted for something more major, something more severe here. And you just hope that he does not hurt any innocent civilians out here, any innocent motorists or pedestrians. Coming through, there we go, we're gonna make that westbound turn onto Somerset, we believe, from Orange. Okay, it sounds like California Highway Patrol helicopter is going to be taking over this pursuit. So we'll try to get that frequency up here in a second. But I blacked out. He turned his lights on for a little bit as he's on Compton Boulevard coming up on Gibson. We're in Paramount right now. Hey, give me those freeways too, Brendan, when you can. He just crossed over the 710. Speed slowing down a little bit. Well, no, actually not. About 70 miles an hour. He was doing 80 plus before, which was absolutely insane. Blacked out, so dangerous. The only thing, whoa, you saw him almost plow into the back of that truck. Little fishtail there as he's going so fast. Just one of those maneuvers. Those are the type of maneuvers. There's a red light he went right through at Harris. Eastbound on Compton Boulevard in the city of Compton. He's got a green intersection here, a green light there, smaller. When he comes up on a major, we're going to want to know that. But look, you can see how quickly he's passing those vehicles. Those are normal speeds. We're coming up on a major right now. We think that might be Bullis, or maybe another street, but that's a major. No, that's going to be Long Beach Boulevard, right through a red light at Long Beach. It's amazing to me that the cross traffic is actually stopping, and we can't really see if there's actually black and whites there. They may hear the black and whites coming with their sirens. They may see the night sun from the helicopter. But a lot of the cross traffic is stopping on green lights, which is a really good sign for this. Now we're slowing down a little bit, 60 miles an hour. We're going to pull out to see if the CHP is still, and it looks like they've backed off. They may have gone back into tracking mode. We don't see any black and whites as he goes through that mid-phase red tri-light signal, not even slowing down. They may have gone back into a tracking mode, and it seems to be working. When they back off a little bit, he seems to slow down a little bit. Back to about 60 miles an hour. Still fast as he comes through Alameda and Compton. He is westbound Alameda from Compton in the city of Compton. Started in Orange County, started in Fullerton. Fullerton PD was the primary on this pursuit. The original want for the suspect was a traffic violation. Right through Willowbrook here, he continues westbound on Compton, right through Willowbrook, slowing down to 48 miles an hour. Green light coming up here. I think it's Acacia he's crossing right now. LA County Sheriffs are aware of this. This is in their area. Compton is LA County Sheriff's area. They have been notified. All the Orange County agencies were notified. CHP was notified. Sheriffs were involved at some point. They came over. I think they may have 2 helicopters here. Brennan is our pilot at Air 7 HD at the controls today, right through that red light. If you can let me know who is overhead as far as airborne law enforcement. It's so important, something like this. Westbound Compton, continuing at about 60 miles an hour, much better than the 80, 90 miles an hour we've seen earlier, but yet still very dangerous. You can see he is still blacked out. And he's got a red light right there. We'll see what he does at Wilmington. He's going to be going northbound on Wilmington in the city of Compton. Still blacked out. California Highway Patrol has a helicopter over this, and the LA County Sheriffs this is in their area. So we'll see if looks like CHP backed off. It's uncertain if the LA County Sheriffs will engage in pursuit. Every department has a different policy on what they'll chase and what they won't chase, especially if it wasn't their chase to begin with. A lot of the times the primary unit of the pursuit will stay with the pursuit throughout the pursuit. You can rest assured that Fullerton is probably trailing behind this thing because more than likely they're going to take the suspect back to Fullerton to face the charges. We're going through Rosecrans here, northbound on Rosecrans, northbound on Wilmington at Rosecrans. Slowing down to 30 miles an hour, trying to get around that car there. But you can be assured, as we mentioned, Fullerton PD probably going to, when he's in custody, whatever agency helps him take him in custody, they're going to take him back to Fullerton to face the charges that he ran from their officers. We are assuming, and we hate to assume because we don't know, that he is probably wanted for something more egregious than just a traffic violation. We're continuing northbound on Wilmington, still in the Compton area. Speed's about 50 miles an hour. It doesn't matter, though. He's still blacked out, still going through red lights, mid-phase red light traffic signals without even blinking, without even slowing down. It's easy to tell right now he's got his lights off, so if he hits the brakes, you'll see those brakes light up, and we haven't seen a whole lot of that on this pursuit. We're about 15 minutes away from our newscast on ABC7, the 11 o'clock newscast. We'll all be bringing you this pursuit, if it's still going at the time, with the anchors tonight. Looks like he's setting up for a turn, a eastbound turn on, I think that's El Segundo. It is El Segundo, according to SkyMap, slowing down. Maybe looking for a place to turn or bail. He still sees that night sun. That light you see, that's called a night sun. That's on the airborne law enforcement helicopter overhead. Not sure if that's CHP or sheriffs lighting him up. So he knows law enforcement's still with him, even though there's not a black and white behind him. He knows they're still overhead. Get you a little better look here as we go a little bit tighter since he's slowed down. 55 miles an hour as we continue. We are now in the Willowbrook area. We are traveling westbound on El Segundo Boulevard in Willowbrook. Okay, we're a little toppy here, Brennan. If we can get behind them, maybe we let them out a little bit. El Segundo Boulevard coming up on Alameda here in Willowbrook. That's Alameda. He just crossed going eastbound. Much slower speeds. That's good to see. He actually breathe a little bit and for a moment here know that he may not kill somebody as he, well, just when I say that, he crosses over into opposite lanes of traffic. Now this is a residential area. There's some industrial through this area here as we work our way into back into Compton now. Okay, it looks like we may be setting up for a turn here on Santa Fe. He's going to be going southbound Santa Fe from El Segundo. You can see it black and white there, taking a good look at him, letting him know, hey, we're in the area. You're not getting away. A little reminder that. Okay, our desk is talking to us, but I can't really hear her over the scanner, so we're trying to get some more information here for you. Yep, LA County Sheriff's is the one managing this pursuit at the particular time. They're in Compton, and that well, now we're actually crossing into Linwood, and that is also the sheriff's area. As we come, we're southbound on Santa Fe, coming up on Pine. Speeds down to about 40 miles an hour, so we can out-breathe just a little bit here. That he's, if he does wreck, hopefully he won't hurt someone too badly. Lights are back on, that's a good sign. Headlights back on, tail lights back on. So we'll see if he turns those off. Get a better look here with extreme vision. Again, we don't want to get too close for too long, because if he does hit something, we're not going to be able to see it. We want to give you a good view of what's going on here. Especially, I like to pull out, just lead a little bit to give you an idea of what's coming. Again, we're going to take a little look back here to see no black and whites that we see in sight. At least, well, there's a chippy. That's a CHP. You can always tell because those rear doors, right through that red light, those rear doors are black, and he's going to turn on his emergency equipment as he crosses by Rosecrans. That was Rosecrans that this guy did not even stop for. It didn't even brake for. It didn't even slow down. Just went right through it, split traffic. No regard for anybody's safety out here tonight. But CHP trailing, tracking LA County Sheriff's helicopter overhead. And he's at Santa Fe and making that turn onto Palmer. Looks like we'll be going, we believe, westbound on Palmer. Small street, really slowing down now. You can see how close that helicopter is, making those orbits right overhead. Unlike us, we're just kind of up here kind of high, staying out of their way, because it's what we do. We let them download to do their job. We've got the camera equipment. We can stay up high, give you these pictures at a safe distance. It's got a green light there on Palmer and Alameda, right over the tracks. He's going to make a left-hand turn, and we believe that's Alameda. So speeds decreased a lot here, which is great news for law enforcement, great news for the motorists out here. Lights are on right now. We'll come back and take another look to see how close. Well, looks like CHP is going to re-engage. Now it'll be interesting to see. Well, it's hard to, yeah, his red and blues are on, emergency equipment on. We'll see if he gets all crazy again like he does, as he had before. He's kind of pulling over to the right there, slowing down a little bit. Not sure what he's going to do here. Very interesting. The last couple times they've done this, he's taken off. So now he's slowing down. We're at a red light. We're at Alameda, southbound Alameda, right at, we believe that's Myrrh Street. Making that westbound turn on Myrrh, M-Y-R-R-H, kind of a strange spelling. Maybe he's running out of fuel. You know, maybe that's what we tend to see here when they start running out of fuel. Just as I say that, here go the speeds again. Back up to 45. Sky Map 7 says 50, 45, 50. There's 50. As he's eastbound. Whoa, look at that. Right over the tracks, bottoms out. You see all those sparks flying. That's what happens when you go over railroad tracks at 50 plus. And making that right turn, we can come off the ICS just a little bit, Brennan, okay? We are now going to be northbound on Acacia. But wow, lots of sparks there, and that's why you don't want to go over those tracks at that kind of a speed. I thought for a second he was going to pull over, and saw that black and white behind him. And now, whoa, wrong side of the road. Whoa, oh, there's an accident. T-bones into that truck. That's what happens when you go through red lights. That truck was hit. Looks like the car's still going. Looks like CHP and the sheriffs will make sure that driver of that truck is okay. That was at Compton and Acacia, we believe that accident had. Right at Compton and Acacia. T-bone right into that truck. Luckily, the speeds were not too high. He was on the brakes. The truck saw him. He was on the brakes. Center punched that truck. The airbags did not deploy on that Acura. It's still drivable, so it wasn't as hard as it looked here from Air 7 HD. We're hoping the driver of that truck's okay, but maybe that'll put a little bit of a fright into that suspect, but we don't think so. Still, we are now westbound on Compton, 55 miles an hour. We think that was Compton and Acacia, we think, where that happened. Wow. Yeah, first the railroad tracks, then he went through that red light, tried to cut over. He went over into the opposite lanes, saw that truck coming, tried to cut through the lanes to cut over, and he was going too fast. He went hard on the brakes, but it wasn't enough. Right into the back of that pickup truck. That is one accident. We've heard that maybe there were a couple others earlier. We didn't see them, but that's dangerous stuff here. So we'll see if that black and white is behind him. It looks like the CHP black and white is behind him and engaged. The good news is the speeds are not as high as they were before when they were actually in pursuit. A couple times they've went into tracking mode and then went into pursuit, and he just took off. 85 miles an hour on these side streets. Not doing that right now. Slowing down. Maybe the car is disabled. We are in Compton, right near Nestor Avenue. Maybe it's disabled. We'll see if he runs here. We're going to hold it up here, Brendan. Watch the pole for me. Maybe giving it up. Stop it. Stop. We're too steep. There we go. Hands are out. At least one hand is out. Giving it up. Maybe the car got a little bit disabled here. On Compton, right near Nestor. Slide away. We're a little toppy. CHP doing a high-risk felony stop. You saw the keys being thrown out. He kind of knows the program as we park it here. He knows the program. Throws the keys out. California Highway Patrol giving him commands, telling him to keep his hands in sight. Threw the keys out. Reach around the outside of the door. which he's doing right now. Open the door from the outside, hands are up. Looks like one occupant, male with a blue long-sleeve shirt on. Looks like he's got a shaved head. California Highway Patrol saying, walk back to the sound of my voice, step away from the vehicle, walk backwards. They may even have him turn around, lift his shirt up to make sure that his waistband is clear, that there are no weapons. That's what he's doing right now. You see that, lifting up his shirt so he can show them their waistband. They want to ensure that he's got no weapons tucked in those shorts. But look at the damage on the front side of that, the front right of that Acura. That's where he just hit that pickup truck. Okay, let me know. We've got another pursuit we're hearing that is spooling up right now that we're going to pull off in just a second and try to bring you. Okay, California Highway Patrol calling him come back to the sound of my voice. And their tactics are a little bit different than a lot of other agencies. Everybody has their own set of tactics. They take suspects into custody. A lot of times they'll call them all the way back to the car, and you'll see that officer in the center of my screen right now. He's going to be the one that's going to put the cuffs on him. That's a contact officer. The two with the weapons at the car, those are cover officers. So the contact officer is making the commands, only one person giving this guy commands. Tell him to come back. Well, everybody else is covering him. The black and white on the left, those guys are covering the car to make sure that no additional suspects are in that car, pop out of the trunk, pop out of the back seat. LAPD sheriffs, they usually lay him down on the concrete. We'll put him down to his knees, put his hands behind his head, and he'll call on his guy to, well, he's going to act kind of bring him back here. Bring him back up, and he'll walk up to him and hook him up. Very, very lucky this guy did not seriously hurt or kill someone. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if the guy in the truck may be being treated for some injuries that we just saw just a few minutes ago. Down the knees, hands behind his back, and they'll cuff him up and take him into custody. Now the focus, as soon as he's in custody, will switch over to the car. Okay, the cuffs are coming out from the officer. Put it on one wrist and then the other, and he'll be putting that black and white. Focus still on that car. Next, they'll get a team together to clear that car, and that'll be that. A very fortunate end to this very dangerous pursuit that started in Fullerton and ended here at Compton Boulevard and Nestor Avenue in the city of Compton. California Highway Patrol was involved, Orange County Sheriffs, Fullerton. But it is over, and that is good news for anybody driving around in this area, that this very dangerous suspect driving this vehicle is no longer on the roads and is in custody. That's going to do it for this, over this pursuit. And I think we're going to be, yeah, I'm listening, go ahead. Go ahead, desk.
Yeah, I think it's Compton and Central. Compton and Central. But yeah, this also, if you guys are on the web right now, and also if you guys are on the web and you're listening to me and you're like, what is up with Stu? It is very difficult when you know you don't hear the streets being called out. Yes, I have relatives in Compton. I'm down here quite a bit. I'm not that super good with it, and I would never guess a street name. So that's basically what's going on right there. Right now, though, definitely coming to an end. Luckily, this guy didn't seriously hurt anybody. That El Camino definitely got a nice dent in the side of it, which is sad. the Integra coming to an end, coming to a stop. Really got to wonder what this was all about. Maybe this guy's just having a bad day. Who knows? But you know what? Never a good idea to run from officers of the law, and definitely never a good idea to get yourself into a pursuit basically for what almost seems like no reason at all. Right now, though, I'm playing with my radios because I know we're going to be getting into another show. I got to switch my IFB up. And, of course, equipment isn't working. There we go. But anyways, thanks for hanging with us there. Thanks for watching. Also, you know what? And it was just, I'm still sad about that El Camino. Is there another chase going on the 60? Because everybody, oh, it's a motorcycle. I don't know. It's your call. Oh, I don't, yay, perimeter. Yes, that'd be awesome. Wheels Western, I don't know, you probably just heard me ask about it, but apparently they lost the guy, so I don't know what's going on exactly with that one. Motorcycle chases, you know, they might be super fast, but they're they usually, those guys, I don't know about how wild it is, you know. Yeah, it's Compton Boulevard. All right. All right, so it's going to be airborne, crash, ending. Okay, I'll try to fill it. It's 10 away. Copy all. Thank you. Rick, Pat, there's the car right there, coming to an end on Compton Boulevard right before Central. The car gave up before the driver decided to stop. We have some tape from earlier on when this was an actual chase. Started in the Fullerton area. Some points they were tracking, some points it was a full-blown pursuit. Sometimes he was driving like he was just going for a drive, and other times extremely high speeds, going the wrong way on some roads at some points. Now, the helicopter overhead kept that thing lit up. You can see that car getting air at one point. Sparks are flying. Then that car basically making a sharp turn, going the wrong way, and then crashes into an older El Camino, basically on Compton Boulevard in the city of Compton. The car keeps on, California Highway Patrol right behind him. Then the car basically just kind of peters out. The guy gets out like he knows what he's got to do, basically following all the commands. California Highway Patrol taking this guy into custody. Original one, traffic stop. They just wanted to pull him over for a regular old traffic stop. In the end, this guy's probably going to have a lot of other problems. Right now, though, California Highway Patrol have one in custody. We understand no serious injuries in this pursuit. Live in Sky 2 over the Compton area, I'm Stu Mandel. Back to you two in the studio. Copy. It's all good, man. Simon Des checking in. Yeah, you didn't. You could have got a little closer, but we'll talk about that. All right, hang on. Well, LA County Scanner, very reliable source for sure, says that, well, it's 3 minutes ago, eastbound 91 at the 71. But yeah, that's I mean, it's a helicopter, not a magic carpet. All right, copy all. We'll start heading east. Head east a little bit. Corona-ish. Yeah, pick up to 60. Who is?
Saturday evening. Now there'll be probably, if it does reach Category 3 strength, depending on the track and where this makes landfall, there'll be just a little area in the northeastern quadrant that may reach the Category 3 criteria. But still, you're looking at, you know, damaging winds and winds that you don't want to be in. So everywhere in the viewing area, you need to stay tuned and stay updated with us. And if you have the opportunity to evacuate, you should do so.
Yeah, it's what, 1 o'clock now. You've been going for a while, so I know you're probably tired.
Yeah, a little tired.
How do people keep up just with what's going on? Their TV goes out. How they keep up?
So we will be on. We will pretty much be on Facebook Live all day tomorrow. We will be tuning in here at this station. You can watch us on your phone. Go up onto the website. That's also streamed on the website. So you have multiple platforms to get updates. You can follow us on our social media accounts. So even if the power is out, we will still be on. We will still be here updating you and braving the storm. And so we have help, actually. Thankfully, everyone from Tegna has helped contribute, and people from Dallas, from Houston, I think someone's from Austin here. So everyone's working as a team. We're working together, and we're going to get full coverage, and we're really we're here for the long haul. A lot of us are sleeping in the station starting by tomorrow. So
yeah, you gonna get some rest?
Yeah, hopefully as soon as Alan comes in, I think he'll be in here shortly. I'll try to get a couple hours of sleep. So we'll see. Hopefully I'll be back in tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon. So
And given anything crazy going on, I think we're back on TV 4:30, somewhere in there.
Oh, so first edition begins at 4 a.m. So 4 a.m. is when you want to tune in here on 3 News. That will be the latest update on Harvey. Also, 4 a.m. is actually the latest update by the National Hurricane Center. It will give you the most updated and newest information on what's going on with Harvey. Once again, the last update, Harvey now is a Category 2 storm. It is now intensified into a Category 2 storm. 105-mile-per-hour winds. Look at that. It actually just updated in the past 15 minutes. 105-mile-per-hour winds coming from the aircraft circling the eye. 105-mile-per-hour winds continuing to intensify. So once again, tune in 4 a.m. first edition with the latest.
When it comes to hurricanes, each one's impacts are a little bit different, but the wind speeds that we talk about along the Saffir-Simpson scale, those are very specific, and the damage caused in those categories, kind of predictable. So let me show you. Let's start off with a Category 1 storm. And the damage here, not too bad. A couple of shingles fall off, you can have some palm fronds bending in the wind, but everything basically remains intact. Category 2, that's where you really start to feel it. Look at the windows of the house. They can be hit from debris from the outside and already start breaking in a Category 2. Your trees are significantly bent over in the wind, and the siding of the house itself can break, flapping there in the wind, adding to those eerie noises inside. Category 3. I've heard only a Category 3, but it's not only anything except really bad news. In a Category 3, you can have the door of the house blown in because the winds get so strong. You can have the roof of the house start to flap up and down in the wind because it's going to lift off those weak points, and a lot of those trees start to fall. Category 4, the damage is even worse. You get most trees falling, most of your windows breaking, most of your shingles fly away, and then Cat 5 is as high as the category scale goes. By Cat 5, no shingles remain anywhere nearby. The holes in the roof get so big that the walls of the house start to fall because they're not attached to anything anymore. There won't be any trees up in the neighborhood. That's just catastrophic damage. But again, that's just from the wind, and there are other impacts from hurricanes, and they all vary through the season. So stick with the Weather Channel to keep you safe when the tropics head towards your neck of the woods.
그네 하스카무사키 사태 게임아 사키사. 어? 아ծ네. 나가 죽었다. 그러면 사이노 비나 임사. おいおいおい、人いるぞ。人。
当